Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the second of this week's video reviews. Today we're back in the Far East in Asia. We're in Thailand, and this is Mae Hong Airport, Victor Tango Charlie Hotel in Thailand. It's a payware scenery by Siamflight, and we're looking at the release version 1 for the PC version of Flightsim 2020. There is also a 2024 version available of this scenery as well. As you can see, GSX works pretty well. There's a GSX Profile on Flightsim.To, and again the link will be in the description below. The download's fairly small, 51 meg, but it installs 143 meg. So it's not a huge file, but it's as you can see, it's well detailed, certainly from here. It's available from a variety of vendors. The best price, certainly for UK customers, I found on Flightsim.To. Currently it's at £8.35, which equates to roughly $11.11 US, or €9.74 in euros. Those prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course may vary depending on which country you're in when you purchase it. As I said, there's a GSX Profile which seems to work quite well, certainly if you're positioned on this stand, and that's available on Flightsim.To, and I will put the link in the description below. So, and today also our featured aircraft livery. Once again, it's the ATR, the ASOBO Microsoft ATR-72-600. This is the Bangkok Airways livery. Now, this is the only airline that serves Mae Hong Airport. And this is the Bangkok Airways livery. It's a repaint I'll put the guy's identity up. He doesn't give his name. Once again, it's one of those weird sort of descriptions. It's X-Ray Papa Zulu HET A13. I'll put that up so you can see who it's by, so you can check you got the right one. Once again, this livery, the profile is on Flightsim.To. As you can see from this bit of video here, the GSX Profile works okay, but it's all a little bit weird in the way that the passengers sort of walk out past the aircraft and then backwards again. This may have something to do with this particular type of aircraft, I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, the passengers are boarding and the crew boards, and it seems to work okay, although I haven't seen any baggage go on board. So maybe this profile needs to be refined a bit more. So that's our featured livery today, the Bangkok Airways livery for the ASOBO Microsoft ATR-72 by the gentleman or the lady whose name I will put up there for you. And as I said, the link, if you want it, the link for this livery is in the description below. So let's look at the features of this scenery. Okay, features. We have terminals with a detailed interior, a custom digital elevation model or DEM with a sloping runway, custom CGL aerial image. You have the control tower, firefighting and rescue station, the weather station, miscellaneous buildings around the airport, gates, stands, helipads, runway and taxiways, all correctly named and connected. A full airport services as required, hand-placed taxiway guidance signs, hand-placed runway and taxiway lighting system, etc. Custom ground texture and static objects around the airport. Taxiways, aprons and runways match the actual airport in real life. We've got an RVR station, PAPI lights, windsocks, full day and night lighting, and there's also the Wat Phra Tat Do Kongwu point of interest, whatever that might be. I take it it's a building. Wat Klang Thung and the Sri Lankan Hospital. I apologise for my pronunciation. So a few things to sort of check out and look at here, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's take a close look at this aircraft. Okay, so today's featured livery, as I said in the introduction, this is Bangkok Airways. This is the ASOBO Microsoft ATR-72-600. And here we are, the baggage has arrived, so there we go, so that seems to work okay. So, as I said, Bangkok Airways, the ATR-72 by the gentleman or lady whose name is pretty much unpronounceable. Again, I'll put it up there above so you can see who it is. And the Flightsim, the delivery is on Flightsim.To, and again the link is in the description. So let's take a close look at this livery and see what it's like. So you can see from this shot, I mean, it looks pretty impressive. The close-up of the tail, you can see all of the detail. The paint job is excellent. It just, you know, it's fine. It looks really, really nice. So a little run past the outside of the fuselage. You can see in through the windows. Now we have boarded passengers, but I don't know if you'll be able to see any. But as you can see, the detail on the aircraft is excellent. All of the paint work and stuff all looks pretty impressive. Everything down to the prop spinners there have been painted, and it just looks nice. And I'm hoping to learn to fly this aircraft too. Now you can see the over wing detail as well. You've got the boots on the forward leading edge of the wing, which are basically there to break ice. And yeah, it looks okay. From the outside, the paint job is excellent. Okay, so let's go inside the cabin and see what it looks like. So here we are looking forward. All looks perfectly normal. It's a pity really. Obviously this is one of the aircraft that GSX hasn't really got to yet, so you don't see the passengers inside after they've boarded. But here, looking towards the rear, you can see the seats are done nicely, and they've even got the Bangkok Airways cover as well. The only problem is, of course, you can see here on the left side, the seat covers are all perfectly okay. Let's get a close-up. See, they're all there in English. But on the port side, they're all round the wrong way. So at some point that needs to be fixed. So we're in the forward part of the cabin. And all looks perfectly okay. Only problem is, of course, you can see the baggage going in through the wall of the aircraft. So there's a nice shot of the baggage going into the cargo bay. And here we are inside the flight deck with the aircraft powered up. So there you go, that was a little look around the aircraft with the paint job there. Bangkok Airways on the ASOBO Microsoft ATR 72600 in the livery of Bangkok Airways by the person whose name is literally unpronounceable. Again, I'll put it up at the top. Okay, so let's do some history now. Okay, history, a fairly short history, not much to write about, but we'll let you know here. So Mae Hong Son Airport, Victor Tango Charlie Hotel, is a public use airport owned and operated by the Thailand Department of Airports. It is located in Chong Kham Subdistrict, Mae Mai Hong Son District, and Mae Hong Son Province in northern Thailand. There's a mouthful for you. It has two main buildings, one for each for departing and arriving guests. Contains a convenience store, coffee shop, restaurant, souvenir shop, ATM and a parking garage. Nestled in the rugged mountains of northwest Thailand near the Myanmar border, this remote airfield offers a challenging approach surrounded by breathtaking scenery. The airport is served by Bangkok Airways and also features a helicopter service as well. So there you are, Bangkok Airways is the only carrier that serves this airport. The runway is fairly challenging, just over 6,500 feet, but long enough to get an Airbus in here should it be necessary. So that's the history for you. Let's have a look at this runway now. Okay, so runways. Mae Hong Airport operates a single runway, 1129, measuring 6,562 feet or 2,000 meters, and is constructed from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 929 feet or 283 meters and sits within the GMT UTC plus 8 hours time zone. Now, Thailand does not observe Daylight Saving Time, or DST, and so with the UK now 1 hour ahead onto British summertime, the airport is currently 7 hours ahead of the UK. So I've lowered the lighting. It's 20 to 7 in the evening local time. It's the 23rd of April 2025 is the date of this video, and we're looking down the throat of runway 11, which is the runway that's mainly used. So this runway has high intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lighting system, and precision approach path indicators on both sides. And looking at the runway, we can see everything is correct. Here's the high intensity lighting. Here you can see the two white flashing lights, runway end identifier lighting, and PAPIs on the both sides. There's a windsock there as well. And if I just turn around to look back at the approach, so here, looking back towards the approach where the sun is going down in the west there, you can see the sort of challenging approach you've got here. No lead-in lights, you've just got the runway and the PAPIs, and this is a really challenging approach. There's no instrument landing at this airport, none at all. So looking back again, what you do have is an RNP alpha runway only. So you just have an RNP approach. There's no instrument landing system, no VOR approach or anything shown on the charts. And for those of you who might be interested, in the real world, this is a captain's only landing, as you might appreciate it. And again, looking at the other end of the runway in the distance, you've got all this mountainous terrain, which makes the place look really beautiful, but again is a real hazard for takeoff and landing. So that said, let's look at the other end of the runway, runway 29. So here we are, the threshold of runway 29. Before we turn around and look at the runway, I just wanted to show you this end. Here you've got the terrain, which pretty much makes it impossible to make a landing on this end of the runway. So this end, primarily you're doing takeoffs. And here you can see the turning area where you taxi down the runway, turn around and hold ready for takeoff. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 29, and here you get a better view of the turning area. As I said, takeoffs on this runway, it's pretty much impossible to make a landing here. And it only has the high intensity lighting, no precision approach path indicators, no runway end identifier lighting, and no published approach procedures at all. So this is for takeoffs only, really. You take onto the runway, taxi and turn and take off. And here also you get an idea, look just about here, that you can see the runway slope. So there you go, high intensity runway lighting on the whole runway, and nothing here in terms of specific lighting at 29, it's all at the other end. So landings onto runway 11, and they just have the RNP approach option. And as I said, this is a captain's landing. So there you are, that's the runway for you. No jetways at this airport, so let's get down to the airport proper and have a look and see what we're presented with in this scenery. Okay, so welcome back. Here we are at the threshold of runway 29, which is where we left us at the end of the runway section. We're going to head up towards the terminal complex airside and have a look over here. Here you can see a little fence line here at the beginning of this runway. So as we get down to the runway itself, the tarmac looks great. You can also see here the high intensity runway lighting. They're all on plinths, and in addition you have blue airfield edge lights as well. So the runway texture looks pretty good, and if I swing to the side there, you can see in the distance there's the hint of a slope on the runway too. Fence line there to the right and to the left, all looks pretty good. You've got various buildings as well off airport to explore when you're ready to do so. So here we are coming up on the airside ramp. There's the windsock below us, taxiway signs on the right hand side, a couple of helicopter pads here, and if I get down low enough you'll see there's lighting there as well. So you can see the blue airfield edge lights that sit in the corner there. A couple of fire engines there and a fuel truck to the left side. And as we go past the main ramp here, you can see the ramp markings are excellent. And the building looks really good. You've got various bits of clutter all stationed around. There's the control tower. We'll look at that in a minute. This, I would assume, is the fire and rescue station because it's got the tower on the top there. And yeah, it looks fine. It looks really nicely done and modelled. It's great. Airfield gate there. Operations vehicle, and this I think is the fire station itself where they keep the tenders. We've got another airfield gate here which goes out to landside. And as you can see here, the fence line is correct and it goes right round the airfield. So let's head landside and have a little look at what's going on here. You've got this little plinth here that's got no markings on it on either side, and then you've got the other one there to the left that has the airport name on it. So first of all, we'll track landside of this building, and the bushes and trees also help to sort of make this area look pretty nice. There you've got some kind of plinth or emblem there to the right hand side that we just passed. There's a control tower building. And all of this is nicely modelled in full 3D, which is great because there are many developers that just completely ignore landside and half the time just don't bother with it. So here's the main terminal. And there's the car park. The cars are fairly simplified. Nothing to write home about. They're not the best models in the world, but they're all in their slots and it works. And it's nice. It's all pretty basic, but it's nice. And there you've got the sloping roadway to the landside area there. And more construction areas, more areas landside. A couple of floating cars there by the looks of it. And there you've got the car park itself. Yep, you can see the car models are fairly simplified. They're not the greatest ones in the world. So let's go inside of the terminal landside and see what, if anything, has been done. The features say it's all fully developed. We'll see. So there we are, we do have development, but no people. Again, it's a bit of a ghost town, you know, there's just no people here. Wonderful structures like this that have been modelled inside the terminal, and yet they've just not gone the extra mile and livened up the terminal with people. So there you can see into airside and out through into the ramp where the aircraft's parked. And there's a quick shot looking back across landside inside the terminal. Okay, let's take a look at the control tower. The outside modelling looks great, complete with the emblem there on the outside, which is replicated on the airside part of the building. Very nice indeed. So here from the outside you can see we've got some modelling inside the control tower. We've also got the rotating beacon on the top. So let's pop inside. And here we are. We've got development inside the control tower, which looks fine. But once again, no controllers, no people. So it's a really lovely airport, beautifully modelled, but no people. So it's a ghost town, which is a real pity. There's a view looking the other way, with a runway 11 threshold in the distance there. Okay, so a couple of close-up shots around the ramp here. As you can see, the airside road is nicely modelled. A couple of vehicles which actually look better than their landside counterparts. Terminal looks really good. You've got the name there of the airport in English and in Thai. And there, as you can see, the ramp markings are excellent. They're all properly clear. Ramp texture's looking pretty good, actually. So let's look at some signage. They don't have the red marking signs here that should be either side of this taxiway to denote a live runway. I don't know if it exists at the real airport. If it doesn't, then it's probably one of the few around the world that doesn't have it. Most international airports have the red signs here, both sides of the taxiways, to show the pilots that they'll be entering a live runway. And it has to be live because it's the only runway. That said, here's one of the signs bolted into a plinth into the concrete, which is good. It's not just been dumped into the scenery, which is something I think is good. As you can see, airside looks great. I mean, here you've got all of the stands properly numbered. There's a number of helicopter pads around as well. And you can see the difference in the quality of vehicles here airside as opposed to their counterparts landside. And here you can see inside this little hangar where the tenders are kept. Okay, so let's enter the terminal airside and see whether there's any improvement in the quality of the terminal in the airside part. Well, we've got seating and we've got a few more different things to look at here. Once again, it's pretty bare. No people, no departure boards or anything like that. Well, that looks quite nice. It's a nice addition to the airside area. And there you can see the doors that go out to landside. So let's check this part of the building. This is the arrivals. You can see the baggage belt there. Once again, all pretty simple. A couple of nice signs. There's the baggage belt. No people and no baggage. And just looking back across the hall. So the features say terminals with detailed interior. Yeah, I mean, but this is as far as he's gone. Doesn't want to go any further, which I respect that. It's just a pity because it makes the airport look like a ghost town. And these days there's no reason not to add any people. So that was the look during the daytime. Now let's drop the lighting down to dusk and see whether that improves the scenery. Okay, 10 minutes to 7 in the evening local time. The date of this video is the 23rd of April 2025. And here we are, local time, just 10 minutes before 7 p.m. Lights came on about 5 minutes ago. And indeed, like many sceneries, a lot of these places look just so much more alive and nicer during the darkness hours. Okay, we still don't have people. But we've got some really nice subtle lighting here. Everything from the runway to the airfield edge lights. The airside area is nicely lit, even from up here. Landside is nice as well, and you've got the difference in lighting colour here as well, which is marked, which is quite impressive. And you can see the road out of the airport is lit, and there's various other things for you to explore. And I think there's something up on the hill here for you to look at. So runway 11 threshold there in the distance, and on this side of the airfield you've got other buildings that are nicely lit. Some parallaxing going on there, I believe. And there in the other direction, runway 29 up in the distance here. The turning area is nicely lit, and you've got one or two buildings that are lit up here. Okay, so here's the view from the flight deck. We're parked up on stand 6. And this is what it looks like when you look out of the cockpit. There's the captain's side, and a quick view out of the first officer's window. So we'll do a slow pass across airside here, the ramp. I have to say the terminal looks better because you've got interior lighting. But it's just a real pity that there's no people anywhere, except obviously when you run GSX you've got passengers coming out, but that really is all you're going to get. There's not even any engineers on the ramp, any default engineers. But nevertheless, there's some good lighting. Interior of the tower is lit up there as well, which is good. And I can't complain. It's beautiful. It's all lit by the correct lighting sources. No globes floating around that I can see so far. Flag isn't animated, unfortunately. And as you cross to landside, you've got this area that's lit, and again you've got these wonderful lights, and now we start to see a couple of ASOBO globes floating around, which really aren't necessary because you've got these lights that are lighting the area properly. There's the airport sign. And once again, I mean, it looks nice. The lighting is good, it's subtle, and it's where it needs to be. So it looks pretty good. While we're here, let's just go up a little bit and have a look at the tower. But here you get a good view actually of landside. And there you can see we've got internal lighting in the tower. But once again, no people, unfortunately. We've got the red light, which is active. And as I pass across to landside here, and you can see, it's nice. In terms of the scenery, there's no real complaints. It's lovely. It's better than any default. And if this is the airport you want to fly into, then this is, at the moment, the best version out there. If I was thinking about version 2, I'd like to see some people. I'd like to see the car models improved as well. Get rid of the ASOBO globes. See, there's another one floating up there. They're not necessary because you've got lighting here already. But it all looks fine. Other than that, it just looks fine. You've got a couple of buildings landside. You've got this big building as well out here as well. That's got some low-res parallaxing by the looks of it. Yeah, it's very low-res actually. That doesn't really work, unfortunately. But you have these nice structures that are really nice modelled, that are definitely very much Thailand. See, again, you've got these buildings, but the parallaxing is such a low resolution, it doesn't work really. But no, you know, the airport's fine. For the pilots, everything you need is there. Landside looks better than it might be. Like I said, some developers do a really good job airside, but completely ignore landside. But as you can see, airside, out on the ramp, everything you need, all looks good, looks realistic enough. You have a very good ramp, all correct signage, a couple of animated vehicles. You know, it's great. It's not going to give you any issues at all. And the terminal looks better during the darkness hours because of the way it's lit. So there's the airport during dusk. As you can see, the sunset is rapidly diminishing. Let's get it down to night time now and see what it looks like. Okay, 10 p.m. local time, and now as you can see we're in the dead of night, and when you get to this part of the world the nights really are black. I mean, I've been out to Malaysia and the nights are just so black. And they light up when you get storms. You get quite a few tropical storms out here because the whole thing is the tropics, and that tends to light up the sky. So here's airside. You've got this sort of yellowish tungsten lighting that lights up the ramp, as opposed to the sort of white LED type lighting that's landside. And it's a nice contrast between the two. And as I suspected, there in the distance you've got another point of interest or feature to have a look at. Maybe get in your helicopter or your light aircraft and go and explore some of these off-airport areas. Today we're looking down the runway. This is runway 11 threshold there, and you've got various buildings on the other side of the runway here with some parallaxing that, to be honest, looks a lot better than it is here. A runway 29 threshold in the distance with the turning area. There's a windsock which is lit. That's another advantage. And you've got bits and pieces out here to have a look at should you wish to. Once again, a quick view from the flight deck at night time. I mean, you can see just how dark it really is. But you can also see how well lit the ramp is. And once again, looking out the captain's window, you can see the lighting here. This is sort of ground marking's great, but it's blurred now that we're close up to it, which is a pity. It's not as sharp as it might be. Could do with being a bit better quality, perhaps. So looking out through the first officer side here, you can see the taxiway signage, all nicely lit, and they're also glowing as well. So a quick look across the ramp during night time. Once again, the building looks really quite good because the lighting makes it look better and just more believable, if that's the right word, I don't know. Control tower has a glow on it now at night time, which looks good. Certainly this is one of the airports that looks better during the darkness hours. It's very nice. Once again, helicopter pad with just the 4 lights surrounding it. And once again, crossing over to landside. You know, it's nice that they've done landside as well and given it some attention. So as I said before, so many people, developers just don't. They just completely ignore it. There you can see the airport entrance. And here you've got this LED type lighting, or the whiter lighting that looks different to what it is airside. And I think it's a nice contrast, to be honest. And just a close look at landside to the terminal. Again, the lighting looks pretty good, and you can see through the windows. It's really pity that there's not much to see through the windows, unfortunately, because the development hasn't gone far enough. Tower looks really good though, no complaints there. And again, it's one of those features that looks better at night time or during the hours of darkness. But you've got lots of little features to look at and enjoy that sort of make this airport interesting enough. It's great, it's nice. So before we go to dawn, here's a nice high-level shot showing you the entire ramp at night time, and it's great. It looks really good. It looks very realistic. It's certainly a big improvement during night time because the lighting makes it look so much better. So let's bring the dawn up now. Okay, 6:45 a.m. and here we are looking to walk across the airport. We're looking west with the sun behind me. You get this little shadow here because of course we've got the mountains behind us, which prevent the sun from giving you the sort of glow that we see in the other airport reviews that I've looked at. But you know, it's a nice scenery. It's really improved the whole area, to be honest. It looks really good at dawn. And then looking towards the threshold of runway 29, you've got the sun coming up over the hills. Okay, 8 a.m. local time to wrap up this review and give you my thoughts. Okay, I like it. I do like it. It's a lovely looking airport, mainly because it's very Thai, and that's something that's evident everywhere you look. The buildings, the design, the lighting, everywhere you look, it's great, you know. And the lighting on the runway is top notch. They've got high res lighting here, and the signs are on plinths. It's all quite quality. Really, no complaints about the way this has been developed. It's all pretty good. The things that I don't like, or I'm disappointed about, perhaps that's the best way to put it. We've got no people. Once again, we have an airport that's a ghost town. No people at all. The only time you'll see people is if you use GSX and they start coming out of the terminal. No controllers in the control tower. There's not even any default ASOBO engineers floating around here. And that's a real pity. So that it really needs some sort of people, both in the terminal and landside, you know, waiting to go in and check in. It would be nice to see the terminal developed to its fullest extent. Not that difficult a job. Stick a couple of controllers in the control tower as well, and you're there. You're away. It's you know, you've got a wonderful building and a wonderful airport. You need to populate it, you know, to make it look realistic. When the guys fly in here, you know, the realism is the whole thing. It's the realism, and anything you can do to improve the realism when you come into an airport is a must. And now we've got people models, both static and dynamic, animated, that don't affect the frame rate. It goes a long way to doing that, I think, really. But that said, this is a nice airport. It's a very, very nice airport. No real complaints. And now that with the prices at the moment, the price is very competitive. You know, at the end of the day, the price accurately reflects what's been done here. I mean, £8.35, just under $12 here, or just over €9. You know, it's not expensive, but you're getting a complete airport, which is what you want. And it's been properly modelled and positioned, and you're going to have fun trying to land here and trying to take off. It's going to be a challenge, and it's yet another Far Eastern airport to add to the collection of the many that we've got. And yeah, you know, take Bangkok Airways, fly out of Suvarnabhumi out here and see what happens. So yeah, I like it. I recommend it. But as I said, if the developer is watching, I'd like to see it populated. Really got to do a bit more with that to bring the realism factor up a few notches. You've got wonderful buildings, beautiful weathering, wonderful lighting during the dusk and nighttime hours, various things to explore here around the airport. It just needs populating. You need people, passengers, airline staff, and a couple of controllers in the tower, and you've got a fully fledged scenery. So we're almost there, but I'd still recommend it. Certainly at the price it is, it's really cheap. It's good. So there you are, folks. It's Mae Hong Son Airport in Thailand. Victor Tango Charlie Hotel, a payware scenery, the latest one by Siamflight. It's a well-known developer. It's been around for a while, and I've reviewed a few of his sceneries. And this is the release version 1 for the PC version of Flightsim 2020. There's a version available for Flightsim 2024 as well. This download comes in at 51 meg and it installs at 143 meg. So it's not a huge download or install, but you've got quite a bit of detail considering. It's available from a variety of vendors at the moment. Depending where you like to buy your scenery, you can get it from AnyBuilds or Orbx or Simmarket or Flightsim.To. And Flightsim.To for the moment has the best price that I can see, certainly for UK purchasers, coming in at £8.35, which equates to $11.11 US or €9.74. Those prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on your country of purchase. As we've seen, there's also the ASOBO ATR-72 with a featured livery of Bangkok Airways by that person whose name is completely unpronounceable. Again, I'll put the link in the description below if that's a livery you're interested in getting. There is a GSX Profile available for this airport, which works reasonably well, although I don't really know why the passengers come out of the terminal, walk past the airport and then do a U-turn. But there you go, really nice, thoroughly recommended. So okay folks, that wraps this review up. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, hope it was useful. We're going to be looking later this week, if I can get the video done in time, we're going to be looking at Alfonso Benito Aragon Airport in Colombia. And yeah, see what that's like as well. So thank you for watching, thanks for joining me, thanks for the many comments that I get. Always happy to hear from you and talk to you guys and find out what's going on. Again, thanks to the people who bought me a coffee, or every little helps, because I still buy quite a few of these sceneries, A, because I want to support the developers, and B, because I want to review those products, and sometimes it's not easy to get hold of the developer, so purchasing the product is the other method. So thank you for watching folks, have a great week, I'll see you in the next video. My name's Lee, bye for now.